Hello guys and welcome back to another video on this environmental law series, and today we are going to learn about the polluter pay principle. In the last chapter we all have already learned about the precautionary principle, which is one of the most essential principle when it comes to the environmental law with regards to the sustainable development. And in this chapter we are going to learn about one such other principle, that is the polluter pay principle. Now, polluter pay principle, as the word suggests, tells the polluter or the polluter of the environment to pay the affected party. Okay. Well, the first time this principle was introduced was on the Organization of the Economic Cooperation and Development, which mostly cover various principles with regards to the environmental damage and pollution, followed by Rio Declaration, which also followed various principles with regards to the sustainable development. One such principles is the Principle 16, which highly focuses on the polluter pay principle, or which has highlighted the polluter pay principle, wherein the principle states that whenever there is any such pollution, the cost of such pollution should be paid by the polluter. This principle mainly focuses on the three main objectives. That is, firstly is that the polluter should take the liability of the pollution. Secondly, he should pay the damages for the pollution. And thirdly, the environment should be brought back to its original state. Now, to elaborate on this principle, the first principle is that the liability is on the person who pollutes the environment. Now, who is the person who pollutes the environment? Is that of the polluter. Okay, now the polluter is the one who directly or indirectly affects the environment, or the one who creates condition which relates to the affecting or the degradation of the environment. Okay, now such a person should, or such a polluter should pay the liability or the damages. Okay, so once the liability is ensued upon the polluter, later on such a polluter is supposed to pay the compensation or the damages. Now the compensation or the damages is usually more than what is given. Okay, as more the environmental damage it is, the more loss it is for the environment. Okay, now the reversing of the environment in the original state means nothing else but when the polluter, or when a person is given any land or any kind of place or environment, and he degrades the environment. Okay, later on it is his duty to bring back the land to its original state. Okay, so this is a lot similar to leasing of a house. So when you as a person lease your house to a person, okay, when you give it your house to a lessee, it is very important that whenever you get the house back, it is better you got the house back in the position as it was given. Okay, so it is very similar to that, as you yourself would not like it if the house is given in a very bad condition. Therefore, as conveyancing lawyers, we put this condition as whenever you are given the house or whenever you are given the property, it should be made sure it is returned back in the similar condition it was given to you. Okay, so this is a lot similar to that, this principle that whatever the damage is done to the environment is reversed back or is brought back to the original state. Now in many cases this is not possible, as the damages of environmental nature is very difficult, or might take many years to get it back to the original state. Therefore, it should be made sure that such a damage is not caused in the first place, as environmental damages are very difficult and may take many years to get back to the original place as it was before. Now let's look into some of the criticism with regards to the polluter pay principle. The first such criticism is that it is very unclear as to who the polluter is, as if we look into the definition of the polluter, it states that it is someone who directly or indirectly damages the environment, or who creates conditions relating to such damage. The problem with this definition is that it's too broad and it's not very precise as to who a polluter is, whether it is someone who directly pollutes the environment, or whether it is someone who indirectly pollutes the environment, or is someone who creates such conditions which relates later on to the environmental damage. Therefore, a definition of such a nature should be more precise and not so broad-minded, as it leaves the room for interpretation. The second criticism is that it causes problem to the small-scale industry to treat the waste or to use additional energy is also a huge cost. Now the problem here arises because small scale industries are the industries which may or may not have the equipments to look into the treating of such waste. Okay, so what happens, even if you treat such waste, the cost is really high, and therefore it becomes very difficult for the small scale industry to look into such matters. Moreover, there are many problems arises only because India being the developing country, there are other issues which are also being looked into, that is over exploitation, corruption, etc. Now, if we really want to study one such case with regards to the polluter pay principle, Kamalnath case is one such case we need to study about. Now, in the Kamalnath case, the Supreme Court said that it is thus settled by this court that one who pollutes the environment must pay to reverse the damages caused by his act. Okay, so even in this case we notice that the reversing of the damage is one of the main principles apart from the compensation and the damages which are also need to be paid to by the polluter. Okay, so that's all for today's video guys. I'll see you around in the next video. Thank you so much. Bye.